श्री गुरु चरण पद्मा केवल भक्ति सद्मा। श्री गुरु चरण पद्मा बंदो मोए सावधान माते बंदो मोए सावधान माते जहाँ प्रसादे भाई भव तोरे आजा। जहाँ प्रसादे भाई कृष्ण प्राप्ति होए जहाँ होते कृष्ण प्राप्ति हो जहाँ होते हो जा। गुरुमुख पद्मा वाक्य चित्ते कोरिया क्या। गुरुमुख पद्मा वाक्य चित्ते कोरिया। गुरुमुख पद्मा वाक्य चित्ते कोरिया क्या। गुरुमुख और ना कोरी हो मने आशा। और ना कोरी हो मने आशा। रे हो मने श्री गुरु चरणे रति ऐसे उत्तम गति। श्री गुरु श्री गुरु चरण रति ऐसे उत्तम गति। श्री गुरु चरण रति ऐसे जय प्रसाद पूरे सर्वासा। पूरे जय प्रसाद पूरे सर्वासा। चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से जन्म जन्म चक्षुदान दिलो दे जन्म जन्म प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेद गाय जहाँ रचरित वेद गाय जहाँ रचरित श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनर बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनर बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना हा हा प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया हा हा प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया ए बेजास खुशुक त्रिभुवाना ए बेजास खुशुक त्रिभुवाना हा हा प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया हा हा प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया हा हा प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पद छाया ए बेजास खुशुक त्रिभुवाना ए बेजास खुशुक त्रिभुवाना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतित पावना जय गुरुदेव लैल शरण जय प्रभुपदा 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 जय प्रभुपदा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता स्वामी इति नामिने। विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। नमस्ते सरस्वती देव गौरवाणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गौर। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Fast beat. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Aur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि।
प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त बिंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की नवदीप मायापुर धाम की गुंडीचा धाम की गंगा मैया की यमुना मैया की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी महारानी की हेरा पंचमी महामहोत्सव की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे कलयुग पावन हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की कलयुग पावन हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की कलयुग पावन हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। All glories to assembled devotee. All glories to assembled devotee. All glories to assembled devotee. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gaurang. Namo Vishnu Padam Vishnu. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Swami Jai Jagannath. दर्शन तो नहीं दर्शन वो बोलते दर्शन होगा कितने बजे दर्शन होगा बोलते गुरु पूजा होगा दूसरा ऑप्शन क्लास चालू करके बाद में
हरे कृष्ण।
जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ स्वामी जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ। हे जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ हे जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा हे जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी हे नयन पथगामी भवा तुम्हें हे जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ स्वामी के
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Now there will be Srimad Bhagavatam class in English. By his
हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण। सब लोग कृपा करके बैठ जाइए। ওই দিক থেকে ওই দিক থেকে ওই দিক থেকে
हरे कृष्ण हरि बोल ऑन है ना जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन जमुना तेरा वनचारी जमुना तेरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन जमुना तेरा वनचारी जमुना तेरा वनचारी Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav, Radha Madhav, Jaya Radha Madhav. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Haribol, 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 Haribol. Jai Vishnupada Paramhamsa Parivrajagacharya Statara Sadhya Srimad Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. ISKCON Beauty Founder Acharya Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki. Jai Vishnupada Paramhamsa Parivrajagacharya Statara Sadhya Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Binda ki. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki. Shri Gaur Nitai ki. Shri Radha Govinda Sriman Mahaprabhu ki. Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Binda ki. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. We are very honored and fortunate to have with us today His Grace Sankarshan Nitai Prabhu. Sankarshan Nitai Prabhu joined the ISKCON movement in the year 1996, the centennial year, attracted by the teachings of our founder Acharya, the ISKCON Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He has done his graduation from St. Xavier's College, Kolkata. Later on, he completed his chartered accountancy and cost accountancy. He is by profession chartered accountant and cost accountant. After completing his studies, and he decided to dedicate himself fully to serve ISKCON movement, especially in Srila Mayapur, international headquarters of ISKCON. Over many years, he has offered many wonderful services at Mayapur. He has been chairman of Mayapur Administrative Council for many years and thus helped. He also has helped in management of ISKCON Mayapur with the help of his professional expertise, with also combined with rich knowledge of Krishna consciousness. He is a natural preacher as well. He has attracted many souls by his intelligent presentation of Krishna consciousness. He started and developed college preaching, Bhakti Viksha programs, and similar other outreach activities at ISKCON Mayapur. He has been also serving as a traveling preacher of ISKCON Mayapur, spreading the glories of Mayapur Dham and teaching of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world since the year 2006. In the year 2018, he came out from active management services of ISKCON Mayapur in order to give more focus on preaching and scriptural education, developing scriptural education. His present preaching service include training and development of youth and Bhakti Viksha groups for ISKCON Mayapur and other centers of ISKCON. He is also regional secretary of ISKCON India for Uttar Pradesh, Meghalaya and Arunachal Pradesh and Rajasthan. and he is also serving as chairman of ISKCON Bhagavat Mahavidyalaya at Sri Govardhan Dham, Vrindavan. He is also chairman of National NIDC, North India Divisional Council, and most important, he is very closely connected with Kolkata and Kolkata Rathayatra. For last 2 decades, he has been actively participating to make this Kolkata Rathayatra grand success. This was desire of Srila Prabhupada, and he has also served as chairman for Rathayatra for many years, and he has been a very regular preacher here. So he has been seeing the Kolkata growing, Kolkata preaching, Kolkata activities very closely, and especially Rathayatra. Every year we are blessed to have him for the both Siddha Rath, Ulta Rath, and all throughout he is there to encourage us. So let us now welcome His Grace Sankarshan Prabhu by loudly chanting 3 times. Haribo, Haribo.
Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swarupa Kadamayyam Dadati Sa Padantikam Vandeham Sri Gura Srijuta Padakamalam Sri Gurung Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Nitantang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhan Nitangscha Namong Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Risatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubha Evacha Patitanang Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namaha Namo Mahabhadanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandha Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyang Jagannathaya Te Namaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanang Namaskritya Narang Saiva Narottamam Deving Saraswating Vyasang Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nasta Prayesu Abhadreshu Nityang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nastiti. Text number 15. Yatra dharma sutta raja गदापाणिर्वृकोदरः कृष्णस्त्रीगाण्डिवं चापम् श्रुहित्कृष्णस्ततो विप जत्र धर्मसुतो राजा गदापाणिर्वृकोदरः कृष्णस्त्रीगाण्डिवं चापम् श्रुहित्कृष्णस्ततो विप जत्र धर्मसुतो राजा गदापाणिर्वृकोदरः कृष्णस्त्रीगाण्डिवं चापम् श्रुहित्कृष्णस्ततो विप Anybody else? Okay. Yatra, where there is Dharma Sutaha, the son of Dharmaraj, Raja, the king, Gadapanihi, with his mighty club in hand, Brikodaraha, Bhima, Krishna, Arjuna, Astri, carrier of the weapon, Gandivam, Gandiva, Chapam, bow, Sruhit, well-wisher, Krishna, Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, Tataha, thereof, Vipat, reverse. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Oh, how wonderful is the influence of inevitable time. It is irreversible. Otherwise, how can there be reverses in the presence of King Yudhishthira, the son of the demigod controlling religion, Bhima, the great fighter with a club, and the great bowman, Arjuna, with his mighty weapon, Gandiva, and above all, the Lord, the direct well-wisher of the Pandavas. Purport. As far as the material or spiritual resources were required, there was no scarcity in the case of the Pandavas. Materially, they were well equipped because two great warriors, namely Bhima and Arjuna, were there. Spiritually, the king himself was a symbol of religion, and above all of them, the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, was personally concerned with their affairs as the well-wisher. And yet, there are so many reverses on the side of the Pandavas. Despite the power of pious act, the power of personalities, the power of expert management, the power of weapons under the direct supervision of Lord Krishna, the Pandavas suffered so many practical reverses, which can only be explained as due to the influence of Kala, inevitable time. Kala is identical with the Lord himself, and therefore, the influence of Kala indicates the inexplicable wish of the Lord himself. There is nothing to be lamented when a matter is beyond the control of any human being. Mukam karati vachalam pangul langhaite giring jatkripa tamaham vande Sri Gurudinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, and in this chapter, the passing away of Bhishmadev has been explained. So Srimad Bhagavatam is a celebration of passing away. Srimad Bhagavatam is not a celebration of coming in. So we can come in because of the previous activity, and we can pass away according to our present activity. Right? So there is a proverb or slogan. The past is the history, right? Future is the mystery. Live in the present. That is the secret of victory. So we try to live in the present. So Bhishmadev is giving instruction to Yudhishthira Maharaj, who is the embodiment of Dharma, Dharmaraj. And Bhishmadev is a great devotee of the Lord, one of the 12 Mahajans, lying on the bed of arrows, not roses, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And Krishna wanted to glorify the pure devotee, Bhishmadev. That's why Yudhishthira Maharaj was bewildered, was lamenting. And he was thinking that I killed so many people. And after that, I have become the king now. What is the use of this kingdom? And he was lamenting. And in order to clear his doubts, in order to remove his lamentation, Krishna arranged this pastime by which Yudhishthira Maharaj is coming to Bhishmadev on his bed of, towards the bed of his arrow, and Bhishmadev is talking to Yudhishthira Maharaj. So this is the scene now. We are in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Battle is over. And there is a talk between Bhishmadev and Yudhishthira Maharaj. And in this verse, the reversals, the calamities, the challenges, all these are explained by Bhishmadev. And he is concluding that this is the influence of time. Time is most powerful. And Krishna is time. For a person who is not a devotee of the Lord, the Kala, the time comes in the form of death. And for a devotee, time comes in the form of Krishna. But we are influenced, we are controlled, we are not the controller. Prabhupada is concluding the purport that we should not lament for things which are outside of our control. So what is outside of our control? That should be analyzed. That's why Bhagavad Gita begins that activity is within our hand, but the result of the activity are not within our hand. That's why we have to be detached from the results. Karmana udikaraste na phaleshu kadachana. That is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. And that principle remains in Bhakti Yoga also. Bhakti Yoga means doing activity for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Detachment is not bhakti. So you cannot get Krishna either by detachment or by attachment. Asakti and Virakti, these are not the qualification to understand Krishna. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktamam abhijanati. Krishna can be understood, Krishna can be known, Krishna can be revealed by Bhakti Yoga, by the process of bhakti. And what is the definition of bhakti? Rupa Goswami explains in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Anna vilasita sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam Anukulyana Krishna Anusilanam Bhakti Uttama. So, Suddha Bhakti or pure devotional service means it is free from any ulterior motive. What should be the motive? Pure devotional service means devotional service with the motive to please Krishna. Any motive other than the motive to please Krishna is not pure motive. That's why what we are doing, that is not important. In what mood we are doing. It is not the content, but the intent. That is more important. Krishna is not interested in the content. He is interested in the intent. Krishna is Bhavagrahi Janardhan. He accepts the mood. And what mood Krishna accepts? The Patrang Pushpang Phalang Toyam Jome Bhakta Pajachati. When anything is offered with love. And what is the meaning of love? Atmendra Piti Vancha Tare Vale Kam, Krishnendra Piti Ichcha Thare Premanam. Any activity for the pleasure of our senses, that is known as lust or kama. Or any activity with the desire to please Krishna, that is called prema or love. So that's why again and again the point is addressed that this is the qualification. What is the qualification? The pure intent. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also explaining that pure intent, that is na dhanang, na janang, na sundaring kavitangva jagadisha kamaye mamo janmani janmanishare bhavatad bhaktir ahaitukitai. So bhakti should be ahaituki, causeless, without any material motive. Ahaituki, unmotivated. Srimad Bhagavatam also explains Savai Pangsha Paro Dharma Jato Bhaktir Adhakshaje Ahoituki Apratihata Jayatma Su Prasidati. Bhakti should be characterized by two aspects. What are the two things? Ahoituki. Ahoituki means unmotivated. Apratihata means uninterrupted. So bhakti is very pleasing to the heart, provided it is done with these qualifications: unmotivated and uninterrupted. The third verse of ISKCON talks about apratihata bhakti. And that is the topic today. That is the level of nishtha, steady. And what are the qualifications needed? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains, Trinadapi sunichena taradapi sahisnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So when someone has these four qualifications, humility, tolerance, not expecting any respect, and ready to offer respect to others. With these four qualifications, one can chant the holy name always. Always means uninterrupted. Right? Just like the river flows towards the ocean, there are so many obstacles, but flow of river does not stop and reaches the ocean. In the same way, our destination is the lotus feet of Krishna, and Shuddha Bhakti means that service which flows towards the lotus feet of Krishna. And when that service flows in this material world, there will be lot of obstacles, challenges, difficulties, calamities. But devotional service should not stop. If it stops, then it's not uninterrupted. And if it does not stop, that is uninterrupted. The devotional service of the Pandavas was uninterrupted. That's why their devotional service is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam deals with Shuddha Bhakti. Srimad Bhagavatam does not deal with Karma Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti. These are the topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. The topic of Srimad Bhagavatam is Shuddha Bhakti, Ahaitukya Patiyata Bhakti. Kirtaniya Sadahari. So meaning chanting of the holy name 24 hours. For us to chant 16 rounds is difficult. But expectation is that we have to chant the holy name 24 hours a day. It's possible? Not possible. Then why Mahaprabhu has told Kirtaniya Sadahari? Somebody asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, how can I chant or remember Krishna during my sleep? So Prabhupada said, try to chant when you are awake. We have big ambition, but we have to understand our situation also. It cannot happen in one day. Sadhana bhakti theke hoy roti ruday, roti garo hoile prem naam ka. Attaining love of Godhead is not a product, it's a process. It's a gradual process. But we have to be focused. When we focus on our goal, then we will become very, very steady in our practice. So our goal is love of Godhead. Prema Pumartha Mahan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given the conclusion. Aradha Bhagavan Brajasatanaya Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramma Kachit Upasana Brajabadu Vargena Jakalpita. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartha Mahan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam Tatradarana Paraha. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given the conclusion that our worshipable Lord is Krishna in Vrindavan. Gopi's love for Krishna is topmost. The proof is Srimad Bhagavatam. And goal of life is love of God. Prema Pumartha Mahan. But the whole world is enamored by Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Most of the people think moksha is the ultimate goal of life. But moksha is not the real ultimate goal of life. What is the real ultimate goal of life? Prema, love of Godhead. That's why it is known as Panchama Purusartha, fifth goal of life. But for that, what is the price? What is the qualification? Apratihata Bhakti, uninterrupted. So sometimes we think, oh, devotional service means everything will be very wonderful. Yes, devotional service is wonderful. But that is the external, that is not external, that is internal experience. But externally, the material world will act. If you are in ocean, you cannot expect there will not be any waves. Material world is the world of what? Material world is the ocean of the waves of suffering. That's why as long as we are in this material world, there will be suffering. Whether someone is a devotee, someone is a practicing devotee, someone who is a pure devotee, someone is not a devotee, someone who is a Karma Mishra Bhakta, Jnana Mishra Bhakta, Yoga Mishra Bhakta, whatever he may be, there will be suffering. Then question may arise, then what is the point? Point is there, that should be understood. The material nature will act, but depending on the level of consciousness, there will be different response to that material nature. So what is the response of the pure devotees? Acceptance. Whatever comes in the life, accept it with grateful heart. That is a symptom of a pure devotee. The character of a person is tested when he is in difficult situation. Otherwise, character cannot be understood. If everything goes nice, you cannot understand the character of a person. The character of a person is understood when he is in difficult position. One great leader of the world told If you know the character of a person, if you want to know the character of a person, give him power. Because power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. That is the nature of this world. Why? Because the greatness of a person has to be estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. Srila Prabhupada makes this statement. Who is a great person? The greatness of a person has to be estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. The nature of this world is to provoke us. Provocation will come. But a great person does not react to this provocation. Example is Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj is a pure devotee of Krishna. He saw Krishna in the womb of his mother. He was personally protected by Krishna. He is in the dynasty of the Kurus. The Pandavas are the grandparents. And he was a king. He was a pure devotee. But he was cursed to die in 7 days by a snake bite. It's not a glorious death externally. A pure devotee, a king, having such aristocratic birth, beautiful, all the qualities of this material world are abundantly there in the life of Parikshit Maharaj. Successful. Still, he was cursed to die in 7 days by a snake bite. Externally, it was very not glorious. It was shameful, right? But it was the most glorious death. Why? Srimad Bhagavatam was revealed through Parikshit Maharaj. Why Srimad Bhagavatam was revealed to him? Because he did not react. He accepted. And he did not only accept, he accepted with grateful heart. Actually, he thanked God. He said, "My dear Lord, you are so merciful to me. And how you showed your mercy? You appeared in the form of a curse by the Brahmana boy. Dijo Sapa Rupam," Srimad Bhagavatam explains. So, Parikshit Maharaj was not seeing that curse. He was seeing Krishna in that curse. That is the symptom of a pure devotee. Sthabara jangama dekhe na dekhe tar murti, sarvatra hoy tar ishtadeva spurti. A pure devotee, a Mahabhagavat, he sees Krishna everywhere. That's why he can also see Krishna in the reversals of life. That's why Kunti Devi could pray, let those reversals come again and again. Why? Because Kunti Devi never saw reversals. She saw Krishna in those reversals. Now reversals are away, reversals are gone, and Krishna is also gone. What's the point? Better to have reversals. Because for the devotees, Krishna is important. And for that, they are ready to face any situation of life. So difficulties will be there. Troubles will be there. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekang saranang braja. Aham tvang sarva papebba moksha swami masuchaha. He said, don't worry. All your responsibility I am taking. All miseries will go away. Who is telling that? Krishna. And that is the hope. If we surrender to Krishna, then there will be no misery. But misery is not an external condition. Misery is the experience of the mind and soul. It's an experience. So therefore, when we are fully surrendered, miseries go away. Because misery is the experience of the mind. And as long as we think we are the master, we are the controller, there will be anxiety. The cause of anxiety is lack of surrender to Krishna. And what is the meaning of surrender? Meaning of surrender is to accept Krishna as the controller. My dear Lord, you are the controller of my life. Whatever you want to do it to me. Give that freedom to Krishna. As soon as we give 100% freedom to Krishna, then we are fully surrendered. For that we have to have faith. Avasya rakhibe Krishna vishwasa palam. What is the symptom of faith? That Krishna will definitely protect me. Name bhakta pranashyati, Krishna has declared that my devotees will never perish. What is the meaning? Then Krishna's devotees will not die. The meaning is that Krishna protects the pure devotional service of the devotees. He makes sure that his bhakti remains uninterrupted. Apratihata bhakti. In every condition of life, the devotee will continue his devotional service. And that will happen when we take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why Pandavas could continue their devotional service? Because they are completely surrendered. And the proof is given. How they are anxiety free. This modern society nowadays is full of anxiety. What will happen? Kya hoga? Even practicing devotees also think, what will happen? What will happen? Because that is the symptom of conditioned mind, anxiety. Anxiety, that is called chinta. And chinta ends and it comes to chita, funeral pyre. That is the material journey. And both chita and chinta burn. Funeral pyre burns the dead body once, but anxiety burns the living body constantly. We are all burning. This material world is a forest fire, samsara dava. We start our morning prayers with that prayer. Right? The prayer begins that samsara dava nalalidha loka. This material world is like forest fire. Forest fire is very, very symbolic. To put fire in the forest, you don't need anybody. In the same way, suffering you don't have to try. Causeless mercy is there. Sufferings will come. You don't have to pray for that. It will come. Because that is the nature of this world. So Pandavas were fighting the battlefield. Fighting in the battlefield. In the battlefield, you can die anytime. But Pandavas were not in anxiety. So Duryodhana wanted to win the battle. And main person who can make that happen was Bhishma. And Bhishma was very affectionate to the Pandavas. So Duryodhana had doubt whether Bhishma will kill Pandavas or not. So he used to provoke Bhishma Pitama. So one day he was provoking very badly. And Bhishma Pitama became very angry and he took a vow that tomorrow I will kill all the Pandavas. So Bhishma's vow means very difficult to change that. Krishna got the news and Krishna was in anxiety. Leader means anxiety. Follower means no anxiety. Choose your life properly. So Krishna was the leader. So if you want to be a leader, you should be ready for anxiety. But that is anxiety for others. That is very, very important. If you want to become a leader without anxiety, then you cannot be a leader. So Krishna is taking the anxiety now. What will happen to the Pandavas? Although Krishna can do anything, but he has to follow the rules and regulations of this world. So he wanted to do in that way. So he went to the camp of the Pandavas. And Pandavas were relaxing. Evening time means no problem. They are enjoying, relaxing. And he said, you are enjoying life? You don't know what happened? He said, what happened? You didn't get the news? He said, no. So news is that Bhishma Pitama took a vow that he is going to kill all of you. So Pandavas is great. Every day we go with that mind that we will be dead today. But we got the news that we will be killed by Bhishma Pitama. What a glorious death that will be. Thank you very much for the news. See you tomorrow. So Krishna was in more anxiety. Now what to do? These guys are too much. They are not taking my instructions very seriously. Because they are fully surrendered, because they know that fighting the battle is our duty and taking care of us is the duty of Krishna. So Krishna went to the camp of Draupadi. And Draupadi saw Krishna at night in her camp. So he said, let's go. We'll go to the camp of Bhishma Pitama. He said, what I have to do? He said, don't talk much. You just offer obeisances to Bhishma Pitama and ask for blessings. That's it. Rest I will take care. Agreed. So both of them went. Bhishma Pitama saw Krishna with Draupadi at night in his camp. He understood something is wrong. So Draupadi offered obeisances. And it is the custom of the seniors to give blessings. So Bhishma Pitama gave blessings to Draupadi. Saubhagyavati Bhava. As soon as he gave that blessings, Krishna started smiling. And he told that I heard you took a vow something. And Bhishma Pitama understood the intention and desire of Krishna. And in that way, Pandavas were protected. So this is the result of surrender. Surrender means give the control of our life to Krishna. That voluntary offer to Krishna makes our life anxiety free. We are in anxiety, that is the proof that we are not surrendered. We don't have to speculate. Someone who is not experiencing the bliss of Krishna consciousness, the fundamental reason is that we are not surrendered. But when someone is fully surrendered, does not mean that he is pure devotee. Fully surrendered does not mean he is fully pure devotee. Fully surrendered means almost pure devotee. Nasto prayeshu avadreshu. So it happens at the level of ruchi. At the level of ruchi, saranagati or surrender is complete. But still there are certain subtle impurities. And Krishna wants to make sure these subtle impurities also go away from the heart of a devotee. That's why what he does? He gives more difficulty. Because if you are in a comfortable situation, you attract anarthas. And if you are in a difficult condition, anarthas go away. So difficulties are very, very favorable situation to surrender more. That's why Krishna gives more difficulty. And through that more difficult situation, the subtle desires also go away. Then he becomes pure. Love of Godhead manifests. But Krishna is not happy with that also. Krishna wants to increase the intensity of love. And for that, he gives devotees more difficulty. And then intensity of love increases. And when he passes all the tests, then he also gives difficulty to the devotee to teach the whole world how a devotee should respond in difficult situations. So Pandavas are the examples. For us, Pandavas' lives are the inspiration for all of us as a sadhaka to learn how to respond in difficult situations. Whole Bhagavatam is like that. Whole Bhagavatam talks about devotees who went through difficult situation of life. Srimad Bhagavatam does not talk about devotees who are having very comfortable life, no problem. Bhagavatam doesn't talk about that. Bhagavatam begins with the curse and end also with the curse, in between also. So Srimad Bhagavatam is filled with the episodes, the pastimes, the life of devotees facing difficulties in this material world. But they all become victorious. Why? The secret is they took shelter of Krishna in difficult situations. Who is a Brajavasi? Brajavasi means when difficulty comes, they take more shelter of Krishna. So difficulties will be there, tribulations will be there, challenges will be there, calamities will be there, but devotees don't become disturbed by that. When that kind of situation comes, they take more shelter of Krishna. And Krishna takes care of those difficult situations because that is the guarantee he has given. Name Bhakta Panasati. So that is the lesson today we have learned. And Bhishma Pitama is telling that all these reversals happen because of time. But Prabhupada mentioned that time is Krishna for the Pandavas because Krishna took personal care. And Krishna came to the life of Pandavas after Pandavas went through difficulties. Because Krishna wanted to see how Pandavas are handling difficulties. We have to learn. We have to learn how to handle difficulties. That is the training, Gurukula training, education training, is to train people how to handle difficulties in life. That is the training all about. But nowadays we only give theoretical education. But real education means to train a person how to face difficulties in life, both materially and also spiritually. That's why they are trained how to fight, and they are also trained how to fight material energy spiritually. So we need both training, material training and spiritual training, to handle difficulties in life. And for that we need the training of the mind, because mind plays a very significant role. And that's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, practice and detachment are very, very important qualities in order to face the difficulties. And mind has to be very, very strong. How mind can be strong? When we practice sadhana bhakti and when we practice detachment, abhyas and vairagya. So spiritual life means detachment and practice. Practice means engaging the senses in the service of the Lord, and detachment means withdrawing the senses from sense objects. If we can do these two things, then we can become very, very strong and fixed up in our journey towards perfection, love of Godhead. So the journey of the devotees are very, very important for us to learn how to go through that journey, because everybody has to go through that journey. Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nibriti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava and Prema. That is the journey within. So that journey everybody has to go through. And we can go through this journey when we take shelter of a bona fide representative of Krishna, because Guru is very much needed. Because Pandavas could overcome all this difficulty because Krishna was acting like Guru for them. In the same way, we can also pass through all the tests of material nature if we take shelter of a representative of Krishna. Then it will be very easy to go through that difficulties and become victorious in our journey. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Gantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Samveta Bhakta Binda ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Bol. Yes.
Hare Krishna. So any devotees have any questions? We can take one. Thank you for your wonderful class. So my question is that you nicely explained that how to take shelter of Krishna in difficult situation. So, we had it, and we had before also. Now we practice Krishna consciousness and we practically face the difficulties. So I am not able to apply it as it is. So therefore, somewhere I get stuck. I am not able to go further in Krishna consciousness. I am not able to advance more. So my question is that how I can get strength so that I can apply which we are hearing and which the pure devotees are showing by their own examples.
That's why we have to have a teacher. If you want to pass an exam, then you study, but if you study under the guidance of an expert teacher. If you study by your own, that's good, but you may not learn properly, because mind will be your teacher. So in the same way, if we want to pass the test given by Krishna, then we have to practice, but we have to practice under the guidance of an expert teacher. If there is no expert teacher in our life, then difficulties will become difficult to overcome. Krishna's shelter means shelter of the devotees. Krishna's shelter cannot be direct shelter. We can take shelter of the holy name, we can take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, but that shelter will be very, very powerful when we do that by taking shelter of a bona fide representative of Krishna. And that is the teachings of the Shastra. So we are not able to apply means we are not learning properly. We are not taking guidance properly. And we are not trying to understand how the previous acharyas, the devotees in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam handle the situation. We are not sincerely accepting it. If we accept it, then we can apply it. Sometimes we may fail because we are not so advanced, but when we sincerely try, when you learn how to ride bikes, how to drive car, how to ride bicycles, it needs some time to practice. Prabhupada said that walking capacity is there in the child, but child has to practice. But that practice has to be under the guidance of his parents. Then he will become expert. We need coach. Everywhere we need expert guide. Then it will become very easy. Okay? Yes. Mic? No cordless mic?
Hare Krishna. Thank you Prabhu for your most wonderful insights about how you have fully surrendered stage when you not become pure
Devotees.
So it was very nice to understand how Krishna puts us in difficulties to purify our namaskar and then intensify our love and like to teach others to be devotees. You said that how comfortable life sometimes can is an opportunity for how do we apply this when we are taking care of other devotees also, because ISKCON, as a devotee, we want to serve devotees, more devotees, happy devotees. We want to make their life comfortable as a service to Krishna. We want to give them nice prasad, nice accommodation, nice facility. At the same time, we also want to make them spiritually grow by making them trained, by teaching them. So, how should we make sure that we have to make them comfortable, and sometimes we have to make them austere also? Or like, what should be our attitude? Personally, we know that in our life we should welcome difficulties. Or in my life, when comforts come, we thank Krishna. Okay, Krishna, you are making life comfortable. And when difficulties come, then also we thank Krishna. Okay, Krishna.
It's like we need father and mother both. So mother gives milk and father gives slap. So then he grows properly. So if you give only milk, then he will become pampered child. And if you give only slap, he will become depressed child. So you don't want depressed child and pampered child. Both are trouble in the society. Right? So when we have the care of both mother and father, then he will grow nicely. In the same way, in our spiritual journey, we need the care, at the same time we need challenges. We need kicks and we also need embrace. And that is the duty of a guru, to give both the experiences. There will be organic growth. Okay?
So as a spiritual, when we are taking the role of guiding others, both people.
That's why you have to play the role of both. If you cannot play both the role, then you have to hire some other people. But we need both the roles. Otherwise, there will not be growth.
Both of them means when we are facilitating the needs. So we should.
Yeah, we should take care.
So we want to become more.
But we should take care, but you should give more challenges. Challenges should be more than the care. Then he will not be in comfort zone. Prabhupada said, take good prasad, then go out on the street. Then food will be digested. So give good prasad, but at the same time give challenges. You should take less, give more. That is missionary life. Whatever you are taking and whatever you are giving should be more. Then you will be safe.
So like, suppose boys who are facilitating prasad for devotees, they want to make some countries, but want to give simple also. Because every time they use
Simple and feast, it depends on who is taking prasad. That's not a problem, it's all relative. Some people who take a prasad every day very opulent, for them what your feast prasad can be austere prasad. So austere prasad and feast prasad depends on person. But we become very much captivated by that concept. We are very austere. Then if you want to be very austere, then read the life of Raghunath Das Goswami. Then you will not think that we are austere. We are having feast every day. For Raghunath Das Goswami, once in 2 days taking buttermilk was a feast for him. It depends on the situation of people. So, and it's not external. As a sadhaka, we have to have regulated diet. But who is siddha, for them taking prasad, doesn't take prasad, taking good prasad, not taking good prasad is all same, because he is not affected by prasad. Mahaprabhu used to take a lot of prasad. As a sannyasi, he should not eat like that. Too much prasad he used to take. But we should not judge, because he is not in that platform. But who judged, he committed offenses. You have to understand the level. The rules also depend on the advancement of the devotees. We have to understand that. We have to know our limit, where we are. Then otherwise we will become judgmental and start committing offenses. At the same time, as an individual, we should not think that people should not see me, and we should not think that we are very advanced. So we are enjoying senses, we say, no, we are at a different level, okay? So we have to be careful as a sadhaka, but I am talking about from our individual perspective, we should be very, very careful. Care has to be there, but too much care is also unfavorable. Everything too much is bad. That's a balance. Take balanced prasad, take balanced rest, take balanced risk. Everything should be balanced. Then you can have a steady progress in spiritual journey. Prabhupada always wanted that devotees should take risk, but he said that we should take calculated risk. We should not become too enthusiastic. One devotee came to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I want to preach to the people in the nightclub, because getting people is very difficult. Nightclub, no problem. So many people come without any invitation. And he asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, what do you think about this idea? Prabhupada said, idea is very good, but make sure you come back. So you have to understand our capacity also. Enthusiasm and capacity has to be matched. That's why you need a guru who knows more than us what we can do, but more important that we should know what we cannot do. That's very, very important. Success formula. Okay? Hare Krishna. Any other question? Cordless? May not be. Fully surrender doesn't mean complete purity. Subtle impurities will be there. There are different kinds of anarthas. Just like in Gundicha Marjanam pastime, there was a big stone, sand, then after that small, then water. In that way, different levels of purification. At the level of Ruchi, we are almost pure, but still subtle impurities are there. What are the subtle impurities? Desire for profit, adoration, distinction. So these are the main pratishtha. These are the most subtle desires. So that goes away when we go through further purification given by Krishna. Okay? What do you want to understand?
What is surrender?
There are 6 symptoms of surrender. Daina Atmanivedan, Gatritya Varan, Avasya Rakhibe Krishna Vishwasa Palan, Bhakti Anukul Matra Karjara Sikar, Bhakti Pratikul Bhav Varjana Angikar. These are the 6 symptoms. Bhakti Vinod Thakur explains. It also explains in Shastra. So first is humility, Daina. Then Atmanivedan. Atmanivedan means surrender whatever we have in the service of the Lord. The Gotripte Varan, accepting Krishna is the maintainer. Avasya Rakhibe Krishna, accepting Krishna as the protector. Bhakti Anukul Matra Karjara Sikar, accepting whatever is favorable for devotional service and rejecting what is unfavorable. So these are the symptoms of surrender. Okay?
Those who surrender, they don't have anxiety, and also you mentioned that leaders must have anxiety, follower doesn't have. So what is the difference between both the anxieties?
That is material anxiety and spiritual anxiety.
How to recognize, like I am having in material anxiety or spiritual anxiety? How to recognize?
Material anxiety means you are always thinking what will happen to you. That is called material anxiety. And when you don't have anything about you, you are fully confident that I am taken care of by Krishna. Then what will you do? You take care of others. That is called spiritual anxiety. Okay?
Thank you, bro.
Thank you for such a wonderful and deeply insightful class. You gave example of the epitome of surrender of Pandavas, and Bhishmadev came and told that when Krishna told that Bhishma took a vow to kill all the Pandavas. Next day Pandavas were carefree. They said it is a glorious death to be killed.
Not carefree, I just spoke in a joking way, but they are fully confident that Krishna will take care. Okay, continue.
So we hear that we
The sound box.
So we hear that God helps those who help themselves. So God helps those who help themselves. So although we need to depend on Krishna, but also we should, when there is a difficulty, when there is a problem, we should also do our part to do our best. But many times I observe when problems come, we get into the problem solving mood, so much into problem solving mood that the dependence aspect is lost, and we find it is a challenge every time to remember Krishna's hand and see Krishna's hand. We go into too much into details. So can you please highlight how we can always have this dependence aspect, at the same time do our best in practically addressing the problem?
So sincerity means give your best. When some situation comes, you have to work hard. It's not that you remain idle. Pandavas are not idle, they are fighting the battle. It's not that they are in the room. But they are fully surrendered because they have the consciousness that result is not in my hand. Result is controlled by Krishna. That is the consciousness. Then we will not be in anxiety. Anxiety comes when we want to have control over the result. If you are not having any controllership, that yes, result is in your hand. So do your best and leave the rest. It's a modern way of talking. So do your best, give your sincere effort, but depend on Krishna for the results. Whatever Krishna gives. Okay? Yeah, you have to give after this. He is raising hand for a long time.
Just extension of Prabhu's question, that what is the fine line between that dependence on Krishna and over our own endeavor? We see Pandavas are working hard, but they were detached from results. Sometimes devotees who are trying to improve their careers, which is also very important, no doubt. They want to sometime relax little bit of their sadhana for some time, for 1 month exam is there or something, and they think, okay, we will work hard for 1 month, but they don't get the result and they become more weak and it like continues. So how to draw the line?
So we have a tendency that we think the result depends on our hard work. That is the concept we have. The result is directly proportionate to our hard work. That is the concept we have. That's why we work hard. But a devotee does not have that principle. He works hard because that is his duty. And he knows very well, whether I work hard or do not work hard, result is not in my hand. That is called a yogi. So a yogi is a balanced person. Prabhupada said spiritual life is also a balanced life. He said that if you do too much sadhana and very less seva or no seva, then you become lazy. And if you do too much seva, no sadhana, you become crazy. And Prabhupada said ISKCON is not meant for lazy and crazy people. We have to have a balance. Prabhupada never wanted, after morning program, go out. Now I am on japa. Japa? Go out. Because that is the time to serve. Japa in the morning. Daytime, seva. No one was allowed Prabhupada's time. After breakfast in the temple, everybody has to go out. That's why movement could spread all over the world. Our movement is movement on the street, not in the classroom. We have to be on the streets. Harinam, book distribution, everything. Mahaprabhu preached on the street. Means we have to be out. not sitting in the room, sitting in the temple, sitting with the laptops, then you are going to change the world. It's not going to change. We have to be on the street. Missionary means on the street. Okay?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. How can I understand that we are going purer and purer in devotional service?
Okay. Very good question. So it is explained, Bhakti Parasana Bhava Virakti Radnatracha. So when someone experiences the touch of bhakti, then he will develop detachment from this world. Virakti. So natural distaste will come. When you taste the spiritual life, then distaste will come. If someone is playing with the toys, the child, when he gets a cricket bat, then he will have an interest in the toys. No. In the same way, when we get the higher taste of Krishna consciousness, then we will not have any taste for material enjoyment. So, if you are losing taste in material enjoyment, that is a proof that we are experiencing higher taste of Krishna consciousness. Okay?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, I want to ask that how to increase our willpower, that like when there is favorable condition, we are prone to attracted by the anarthas. So how to increase our willpower so that we voluntarily accept austerities and feast रहता है तो we are not going to go
after
to
feast.
austerity like somewhere feast is there and I will not be able to control now. So how to increase our willpower so that we can do austerity?
So you don't want to eat on the feast?
No, I want, but
what do you want?
You said.
What do you want? What exactly you want? Tell me. Then accordingly we can guide, na?
वो I want to ऐसा नहीं कि मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा attracted for feast, that hankering for feast नहीं हुआ, so balance
चला जाता है. So feast is okay, but everyday feast is not good. Balance.
No, that
I was reading a quote, very interesting quote, by Prabhupada. One devotee made very nice paneer sabji and very opulent sabji and brought in a very big pot. And he expected that Prabhupada will take something and leave the something like that. But Prabhupada ate the full thing. But Prabhupada, he thought he liked so much. He was not so disturbed, but he did not get pressure. But he was so happy that Prabhupada liked it so much. The next day again he brought. Then Prabhupada took 1, 2, then he left. Then again next day he brought. Then Prabhupada did not touch it. He was depressed. Prabhupada, same prasad. Why you did like that? He said, for devotees, taking paneer like this every day is not good for our sense control. You should take paneer once in a week. Something like that he said. So in Mayapur, some sannyasis were taking that dead gur and puri. One after dead gur. Gur, molasses. And they are taking with puri in evening time, dinner. And Prabhupada was in Bhajan Kutir and the number of puris was many. So he called all of them. He said, taking puri at night by the sannyasis or brahmachari is not good at night. So he encouraged to take prasad. At the same time, he also taught that we should be balanced. Taking puri is good, but too many puris at night with gur is not good. So feast is also okay, but once in a while is okay, but not every day we take feast. Then it becomes difficult to control our senses because we are sadhakas. Okay.
No, means I want to say that in all respect, means not in case of feast only, means for everything, how to increase our willpower, that I will do today 1 hour.
You have to win over the mind. Mind wants to do something, but you are failing. That's your point?
Yes, yes.
That is called mind and intelligence game. In order to win over the mind, you have to make your intelligence very strong. That will happen. Matchitta tesang satatayuktanang bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi jogam tam janamam upajantite. If you want to sharpen your intelligence and conquer over the mind to increase your will power, then we have to engage in devotional service very sincerely. Shravanam kirtanam, hearing and chanting, and other process of devotional service have to be very sincerely done. Then your willpower will increase. Okay?
Thank you.
And you should be with somebody who has strong willpower. If you are with somebody very loose willpower, then you will also think he is not going. If in your room everybody is sleeping during Mangalarati, then you will be thinking what? Chalta hai. But if everybody is getting up for Mangalarati, then even if you want, you feel that everybody is going, better I should also go. Sangha is very important to increase your willpower. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
If he can do, I also can do. Confidence increases. So we'll end now. 10 o'clock. Last question. Last.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I have, as you have said that we should take the shelter of a bona fide guru for our well spiritual advancement. I have also heard that after taking the shelter of the guru take response of his students, and sometimes they also take charge of the sins that the students have made. Is it good that the student should give the sins to the spiritual master, because he is also a representative of God? Will God not be offended for our sins, that I am giving my sins to him?
Your sins?
Means
कान के लिए
हरे कृष्ण। तो
आवाज क्यों आ रहा है? आवाज आ रहा है, ठीक है।
So he's asking that when we accept the spiritual guide, it is said that spiritual guide also takes our sins.
Yeah, Diksha Guru. When you take Diksha, Diksha Guru takes the responsibility of your sin.
So is it good that we, is it proper for us that we are giving our sins to?
Don't commit sin. That's the duty of a disciple. That's why Prabhupada said, when you take initiation, you have to commit that you will not commit any sinful activity. That's the responsibility. Just like Guru is taking responsibility of your spiritual journey, that's your responsibility also to follow the principles. Then it is a win-win situation. Okay? You should not become the burden of the Guru by following the principles very strictly. Okay? So we'll end here. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vinda ki jai. Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Bo.
सावधूतं परिजनसहितं Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Visakhanitam Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. नदोपदेश भक्ति विनोदोपदेश भक्ति विनोद उपदेश एक बार भक्ति विनोदोपदेश एक बार हरि Japa